Hello! We're excited to show you our native speech capabilities. Welcome back to the English journey. Today, we are talking about a truth that is both scary and beautiful. Life is short. I'm Anna.
And I'm Abel. We often live as if we have forever, but today we want to use English to help you focus on what really matters right now.
That is such a good way to start, Abel. You know, I think most of us, no matter where we are from, no matter what language we speak, we all share this same habit. We say, I will do it later. I will start tomorrow. I will be happy when things get better. And we keep waiting, and waiting, and waiting.
Yes, Anna, I used to do that all the time. I remember when I first decided I wanted to improve my English, I said to myself, I will start when I have more time. I will start when I finish this project. I will start when the kids are older. And you know what happened? Nothing happened, because that perfect moment never came.
Exactly. And this is something we want to talk deeply about today. We are not just talking about learning English, we're talking about life itself, because the way we treat our time in English learning is often the same way we treat our time in life. We wait, we delay, we put things off, and before we know it, so much time has passed.
That word, delay, it is a very important word today. To delay means to wait when you should act. When we delay the things that matter, we lose something we can never get back.
And what is that thing we lose, Abel?
Time. Beautiful, precious time. And the word precious is so important here. Precious means something that has great value, something that is very special. We say diamonds are precious. We say gold is precious. But really, time is the most precious thing any of us has.
I love that, Abel. You know, sometimes life gives us a moment that changes everything. Some people call it a wake-up call. A wake-up call is a moment that shocks us and makes us see things differently. It could be an illness. It could be losing someone we love. It could be a birthday that makes us realize how many years have passed.
I had one of those moments, Anna. I had a wake-up call a few years ago. My father became very sick, and I suddenly realized that I had been so busy, so focused on small problems, small worries, that I had not spent enough time with him. I had not called him enough. I had not told him how much I loved him. And in that moment, I felt something very strong. It was regret.
Regret. That is a powerful word. Regret means the pain we feel when we wish we had done something differently. It is one of the most difficult feelings a person can have because you cannot go back. You cannot change the past. You can only learn from it.
And that is what I did. I learned from that moment. I decided to change. I decided to stop waiting for life to become perfect before I started living it fully.
And that brings us to something we want to call the someday trap. Have you ever said the word someday a lot? Someday I will travel. Someday I will learn English fluently. Someday I will spend more time with my family. Someday I will be happy.
Oh yes, someday is a very comfortable word. It feels safe. It feels like a plan. But really, someday is not a day of the week. It is not Monday. It is not Friday. Someday is a word we use to feel better about not acting right now.
That is so true. And the danger of someday is that it can go on forever. You can say someday your whole life and never actually do the thing you are dreaming about. The someday trap is when we believe that our real life will begin later, after something else happens. But life is not waiting for that moment. Life is happening right now.
I think about my English journey and I see this so clearly. I used to think I will speak English fluently someday and then I will feel confident. Then I will travel. Then I will apply for that job. But I had everything backwards. The confidence does not come after fluency. The confidence comes while you are learning, while you are trying, while you are making mistakes and getting back up.
Yes, and this is something so important for every person watching and listening today. You do not need to wait until your English is perfect to start using it. You do not need to wait until your life is perfect to start enjoying it. You start now. You start where you are. You use what you have.
That idea connects to a word I really like. The word is intention. Living with intention means making choices on purpose. It means deciding what is important to you and then actually spending your time on those things, not just thinking about them, not just talking about them, but doing them.
Living with intention is one of the most powerful things a person can do, because when we don't live with intention, something else takes over. What takes over, Abel?
Distraction, other people's priorities, other people's urgency. And the word urgency is very interesting here. Urgency means the feeling that something must be done immediately. And in our modern world, everything feels urgent. Your phone feels urgent. Social media feels urgent. The news feels urgent. But most of these things are not truly important. They just feel loud.
I think about this with a very simple example. Imagine you have a jar, and you need to fill this jar with things. Now, imagine the big things in your life, the truly important things, are like large rocks. Your family, your health, your dreams, your learning, your relationships. These are the big rocks.
I know this example, and the small stones and sand are all the little things, the small worries, the time we spend on things that don't truly matter.
If you fill the jar with sand and small stones first, there's no room for the big rocks. But if you put the big rocks in first, the sand will still find a way to fit around them. This is how we should think about our time. Put the important things first. Give them the space they deserve.
This made me think about the word priority. A priority is something you choose to do before other things because it is most important. When we say something is a priority, we are saying, this matters to me, and I will protect my time for this.
And one of the hardest parts of living with intention is learning to say no. Saying no is not selfish. Saying no to the things that waste your energy means saying yes to the things that truly matter. If someone asks you to do something that doesn't serve your real goals, your real values, it's okay to say, I'm sorry, I cannot do that right now.
That is hard for many people, Anna, especially in cultures where saying no feels rude. But I have learned that when I say yes to everything, I have nothing left to give to the most important things. I'm stretched too thin. I'm tired, and the people who matter most to me get the worst version of me.
So let's talk about something that sounds very simple, but is actually very deep. Presence. Being present. The word presence means being fully here, in this moment, with your full attention and your full heart.
I find this so difficult sometimes. I will be honest. I can be sitting with my children at dinner and my phone is on the table and I am thinking about work. My body is there, but my mind is somewhere else, and that is not presence. That is just being physically close, but mentally far away.
And this is something many of us experience. We are living in a time when distraction is everywhere. Notifications, messages, videos, news. There is always something pulling our attention away from this moment, this person, this experience.
But here is what I have learned about presence. When you are truly present, even simple moments become beautiful. A cup of tea in the morning becomes a small ceremony. A walk in the park becomes a peaceful adventure. A conversation with a friend becomes something you actually remember.
Yes, and I want to give our listeners a very simple practice. The next time you drink your morning tea or coffee, try to do only that. Do not check your phone, do not watch a video. Just hold the cup, feel the warmth, smell the drink, take a slow sip. Just be there for 3 minutes, only 3 minutes.
That sounds so easy, but I tried it, and it felt strange at first, because we are not used to silence. We are not used to just being. But after a few days, I started to really love those quiet moments. They felt like gifts.
That is such a beautiful way to describe it, Abel. Gifts. And this idea of gifts brings us to the word gratitude. Gratitude means feeling thankful, feeling deeply appreciative for what you have. When we slow down and pay attention, we start to see how many gifts are already around us.
You know, one of my favorite things to do now is at the end of the day, I take 1 minute and I think of 3 things I am grateful for. Just 3.
It could be something small, like a good meal, a funny moment with my child, or the fact that I learned one new English word today. Small things, but when I count them, something shifts in my heart. I feel richer. I feel less worried.
Gratitude changes your perspective, and perspective is another key word for today. Perspective means the way you see and understand something. Two people can look at the same situation and see it completely differently based on their perspective.
For example, one person loses their job and thinks, my life is over. Another person loses their job and thinks, this is a painful but important change that will lead me to something better. Same event, very different perspectives. And the perspective we choose changes everything. It changes how we feel, how we act, and what happens next.
This is so true, and perspective is something that the awareness of time, the awareness that life is short, can give us. When you truly understand that your time is limited, small problems lose their power. Someone said something unkind to you online. From the perspective of a full life, is that really worth your energy?
When I think about it that way, no, it really is not. I used to get so upset about things that, looking back, were completely meaningless, and I wasted so much emotional energy on those things, energy that I could have used for something beautiful.
Let's talk now about English learning itself, because this podcast is an English learning show, and we want to connect all of these ideas to your journey of learning English. Learning a new language is one of the most powerful things a person can do with their time, and here is why.
When you speak English, you gain access to a bigger world. You can read books that have not been translated into your language. You can watch films and understand the original words. You can travel to new places and actually talk to people. You can apply for opportunities that were not available to you before.
And you can connect with people from all over the world, people with different stories, different cultures, different ways of seeing life. And when you hear those stories, your own perspective grows. You become a bigger person inside.
This is what learning English has done for me. It has not just given me a skill, it has given me a new window to look through, a window into a wider, more colorful world.
And think about this. If life is short, then learning English is a way of making the most of the time you have. It's a way of opening more doors in the time you are given. So every lesson, every podcast, every word you learn is an investment in a richer life.
I also want to say something to anyone who feels afraid to speak English. Fear is a very normal part of learning, but fear is also a choice. We can choose to let fear stop us, or we can choose to act in spite of the fear. And when we act despite the fear, that is called courage.
Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing the thing anyway, even when you're nervous. And speaking English when you are not yet fluent, that takes real courage. And every time you do it, you become a little stronger, a little more confident, a little more free.
I think about the first time I had a full conversation in English with a native speaker. My heart was beating so fast, my hands were a little shaky, but I did it. And when it was over, I felt incredible. I felt like I had climbed a small mountain.
That feeling is so important, and the only way to get that feeling is to try. Not someday, now, today. Send that message in English. Leave that comment in English. Start that conversation in English. The best time to begin was yesterday. The second best time is right now.
Now let's talk about some practical habits. Small, simple things we can do every day that connect the idea of a short but meaningful life with our daily actions. These are things that I personally try to do, and they've made a real difference.
The first habit is simple but so powerful. Tell the people you love that you love them. Do not wait for a special occasion. Do not wait until it feels like the right moment. Tell them today. Tell them often. Because the people we love need to hear it, and we need to say it. It reminds both people that what they have is precious.
I started doing this more after my father got sick. I started saying I love you more, to my parents, to my wife, to my children. And at first, it felt a little strange, because in my family we did not say it that much. But now it feels natural, and it has made our relationships warmer and stronger.
And here is a beautiful bonus. You can practice your English by sending a loving message to someone in English. Write to a friend and say, "I just wanted you to know that I am grateful for you." Try it. It is wonderful both for the relationship and for your language skills.
The second habit is to try one new thing every week. It does not have to be big. It could be cooking a new recipe, walking a new route to work, listening to a new kind of music, starting a new book, or trying to speak English in a new situation. Newness keeps us alive. It keeps us curious, and curiosity is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves.
When we stop being curious, we stop growing. And when we stop growing, life can feel smaller and smaller. But when we stay curious, when we keep trying new things, life keeps expanding. Life keeps feeling full of possibility.
The third habit is to forgive small mistakes quickly, both your own mistakes and other people's. We lose so much time and energy when we hold on to anger and frustration. When someone makes a small mistake, when a friend is late, when someone says something thoughtless, we have a choice. We can hold on to it, or we can let it go and move forward.
And forgiving does not mean what happened was okay. It just means you're choosing not to carry the weight of it anymore. You are choosing to free yourself. And this takes practice. It's a skill like any other, but it gets easier with time.
I used to be someone who held on to things for a long time. I would replay conversations in my head, thinking about what someone did wrong, what I should have said, and I was exhausted by it. When I learned to forgive more quickly, I felt so much lighter.
That image of feeling lighter is so true. Anger and resentment are like heavy bags we carry everywhere. When we put them down, we can walk more freely, more joyfully.
Now I want to talk about something really exciting. We're in a special time. We're looking at the year 2026. And yes, a new year is just another collection of days, but there is something powerful about seeing it as a fresh beginning, a new chapter, a chance to decide who you want to be and how you want to spend your time.
I love this idea. Think of 2026 as a blank journal, 365 pages, all of them empty right now. What do you want to write on those pages? What experiences do you want to have? What relationships do you want to deepen? What skills do you want to build? What version of yourself do you want to meet by the end of the year?
And this is not about pressure. This is not about making a long list of goals and feeling guilty when you don't achieve all of them. This is about intention, choosing one or two things that truly matter and committing to them with your whole heart.
For me, one of my intentions for this year is to be more present with the people I love, to put my phone away during meals, to listen without thinking about my response, to really see the people in front of me.
And for me, one of my intentions is to continue growing in my communication, to keep sharing my story, in the hope that it will help someone else feel less alone in their own journey, and to keep learning, because as long as I'm learning, I feel alive.
And for our wonderful listeners and viewers today, we would love for you to think about this. What is one intention you can set for 2026? What is one meaningful thing you want to give your time and energy to this year? You do not need to wait for a special moment. This moment, right here, right now, is the moment.
There's a word that I want to share before we move toward our closing. The word is legacy. Legacy means what we leave behind after we are gone. It's the impact we have on the people around us, on our community, on the world. And the beautiful thing about legacy is that it does not require fame or great wealth. A legacy can be as simple as being the parent who always listened, the friend who always encouraged, the student who never gave up.
Every kind word you speak is part of your legacy. Every time you choose courage over comfort, every time you choose love over resentment, every time you choose to be present instead of distracted, you are building something that will outlast you.
And this connects back to English learning in a very meaningful way. The skill you build today, the English you learned this week, this is not just for you. You will use it to connect with people. You will use it to share ideas. You will use it to help others. Your language skills are part of the gift you give to the world.
Oh, Abel, I love that so much. Your language is your gift to the world, and every step you take in learning English is a step toward a bigger, more connected, and more meaningful life.
So let's quickly review some of the beautiful words we have explored today. Precious means having great value, like time. Regret means the pain of wishing you had done something differently. Urgency means the feeling that something must be done immediately. Intention means choosing and acting on purpose. Gratitude means deep thankfulness for what you have. Perspective means the way you see and understand something. Legacy means what you leave behind for others.
These are not just vocabulary words. These are life words. These are the words of a person who is awake, who is paying attention, who is choosing to live fully and not just exist.
And I want to say something from my heart to every single person who is watching or listening right now. You made a choice today. You chose to spend time improving yourself, learning, growing. That's not a small thing. That's a meaningful, courageous choice. You are not wasting your time. You are investing it.
And if you're someone who has been waiting to start, waiting to improve your English, waiting to reach out to a loved one, waiting to be happier, we want to gently say to you, please stop waiting. Not because life will end tomorrow, although it could, but because life is happening right now. The good stuff, the beauty, the love, the learning, it's all available right now.
A wise person once said that the longest journey begins with a single step. And that's true. You don't have to change everything at once. You don't have to speak perfect English tomorrow. You just have to take one step, one small, brave, intentional step.
Watch one English video, send one message in English, have one conversation, call one person you've been meaning to call, say one kind word to someone who needs it. These small steps, taken consistently, become a beautiful life.
And as we close today, I want to share one final thought. The fact that life is short is not meant to make us sad. It's meant to make us awake. It's meant to make every cup of tea more delicious, every hug more warm, every sunrise more golden. The shortness of life is what gives it its beauty.
Yes, a shooting star is beautiful partly because it doesn't last forever. A flower is precious partly because it will not always be in bloom. And our days, our precious, unrepeatable days, are beautiful precisely because they are limited, because they are ours, because they are now.
So let's make the most of them, together. One word at a time, one conversation at a time, one brave, intentional, grateful day at a time.
That's our message for today, dear listeners and viewers. Thank you so much for joining us on the English journey. We hope that today's conversation has given you something to think about, something to feel, and something to do.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with one person who needs to hear this message. Leave a comment below and tell us what is one thing you want to do with your precious time this year. We really do read your comments, and they make us smile every single time.
Keep learning, keep growing, keep showing up for your life. Your English is getting better every day, and so are you. I'm Anna.
And I'm Abel. Thank you for being here. Until next time, take care of your time, because your time is your life.
Goodbye for now, and remember, life is short, but it's also incredibly, beautifully full. See you next time on the English Journey.